Ever wondered why your love life reads more like a solo mission than a romantic novel? Why do the most mysterious, powerful, and self-sufficient men often walk alone? This isn't about loneliness, it's about choosing solitude over settling, power over compromise, and freedom over familiarity. Welcome to 12 Reasons Why Sigma Males Remain Single Forever. Not because they can't love, but because their definition of love is radically different. Let's dive in. Sigma males are lone wolves by design. Unlike alpha males who thrive on dominance or beta males who seek approval, Sigmas forge their own path. And that path is often rugged, filled with self-discovery, purpose, and independence. Relationships, for most people, provide comfort and validation. For a Sigma, they can sometimes feel like chains. In fact, studies in personality psychology show that individuals with high levels of introversion and independence often prioritize personal goals over romantic pursuits. That's Sigma energy in a nutshell. They value deep, meaningful connections, not superficial flings or routine-driven relationships. Sigmas are less likely to engage in casual dating or settle for someone just to avoid being alone. Instead, they crave alignment, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally. And when they don't find it, they wait, sometimes forever. It's not arrogance. It's intentional living. They'd rather spend a Friday night building a business, training their body, or mastering a skill than going on an awkward date. Their standards are sky high and their vision is locked in. And here's the twist, Sigma males fall in love deeply, so deeply. But they won't compromise who they are to make it happen. So if you're a Sigma and still single, don't question your worth, question the world's assumptions about love. Because maybe, just maybe, your solitude is the loudest proof of your strength. Number 1, they have zero tolerance for games. Let's be honest, modern dating can feel like a circus. Ghosting, breadcrumbing, love bombing, benching, it's emotional dodgeball with no rules and even fewer rewards. Welcome to the era of swipe left culture, where attention spans are shorter than ever, and genuine connection often takes a backseat to cheap thrills. But then there's the Sigma male, the lone wolf of the modern world. He doesn't just break the mold, he walks away from it entirely. While others chase validation and play power games, the Sigma observes from a distance. He doesn't chase trends, he chases truth. Sigma males are masters of emotional intelligence. They read body language, detect subtle cues, and sense red flags from a mile away. If a conversation feels scripted or manipulative, they don't argue. They disengage, calmly, quietly, and decisively. Not out of fear, but out of principle. For them, peace is non-negotiable. Psychological studies show that emotional intelligence, self-awareness, empathy, and emotional regulation is one of the strongest predictors of long-term relationship success. Sigmas embody these traits naturally. That's why they don't waste energy decoding mixed signals or tolerating manipulation. They value authenticity and offer it in return. So when someone tries to breadcrumb them with just enough attention to keep them hanging, the Sigma sees right through it. When they're being emotionally baited or drawn into drama, they walk away, not as a reaction, but as a boundary. Sigma males aren't antisocial, they're selectively social. They'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who drain their spirit. While others see solitude as loneliness, Sigmas see it as strength. In that quiet space, they build businesses, sharpen their minds, and master themselves. So while everyone else is playing emotional chess, trying to win at dating, the Sigma male is building an empire. Alone? Maybe. But unbothered and unbreakable. He's not looking for a trophy. He's looking for truth. And if that takes time, so be it. Because a man grounded in self-worth doesn't chase games. He becomes the standard. In a world full of noise, the Sigma male wins by staying silent. Number 2, their standards are sky high. Sigma males don't just want someone. They want the right one. And no, that's not romantic idealism, it's strategic alignment. Sigmas operate with intentionality. Every decision, every relationship, is made with precision to protect their peace, values, and freedom. It's not about being picky, it's about purpose. While others rush into relationships out of loneliness or pressure, Sigmas remain grounded. They understand that the wrong partner can derail their mission, drain their energy, and destabilize the emotional equilibrium they've worked so hard to achieve. This is why finding someone who respects their solitude, understands their mindset, and adds genuine value to their life is rare. Not because Sigmas are impossible to please, but because they refuse to settle. Think of it like this, the average person fears being alone. The Sigma male fears wasting time. He'd rather eat alone than feed a connection that's half-hearted. He'd rather walk a purposeful path alone than follow someone headed in the wrong direction. This isn't arrogance, it's awareness. Psychologically, this ties into high intrapersonal intelligence, self-aware individuals who understand their emotional needs and boundaries. Studies show that such people are more selective and ultimately happier in their relationships. Sigma males also understand opportunity cost. Every wrong relationship is time, energy, and growth lost. They think in long-term returns, not short-term distractions. So they guard their time and hearts like sacred ground. In the end, Sigma males aren't avoiding love, they're curating it. They're not closed off, they're just unwilling to compromise peace for proximity. So if you see a Sigma male walking alone, don't mistake it for sadness. That's a man who knows exactly what he brings to the table, and refuses to shrink to fit someone else's expectations. Not for attention. Not for validation. And certainly not out of fear. Number 3, they value freedom over familiarity. Sigmas don't stay single because they can't commit. They stay single because they know their worth. They don't ask for permission to exist. They move through life like lone wolves, calm, confident, and unapologetically themselves. While society pressures people into conventional relationships, the Sigma male walks a different path. He doesn't fit into the romantic molds portrayed in movies or promoted by peer expectations. For him, freedom isn't just a preference, it's sacred. Most people chase love like it's a finish line. Sigmas chase liberty. That doesn't mean they don't crave connection. It just means they're not willing to sacrifice their peace to get it. They value solo hikes over forced conversations. They'd rather read in silence than perform emotional labor for someone who doesn't truly get them. They aren't cold or detached, they're deeply introspective. According to research in personality psychology, individuals high in self-direction and autonomy often resist external pressures to conform, including in their romantic lives. That's the Sigma male. He's not anti-love, he's anti-cage. The truth is, they don't fear commitment, they fear confinement. They fear waking up one day realizing they've given up their values for someone else's comfort. Not all love empowers, some controls. Sigmas are only interested in the kind that fuels their spirit. That's why many of them stay single, not because they're incapable of love, but because they refuse to settle for less than a soul-level connection. So when you see a Sigma walking alone, don't mistake it for loneliness. It's strength. It's discipline. It's a statement. He's not avoiding love, he's avoiding the kind of love that asks him to shrink. And that's not weakness. That's principle. Number 4, society just doesn't get them. Let's be real, the Sigma male is an enigma. Misunderstood. Unpredictable. Unapologetically independent. In a world that constantly rewards the loudest voice in the room, the Sigma is the quiet observer who ends up pulling the strings. While society often praises extroverts, social butterflies, and those who climb the social ladder with charm and charisma, Sigmas walk an entirely different path. They don't seek validation. They don't play the game. And that's exactly what makes them so compelling, and so confusing, to others. Unlike alpha males who lead the pack or betas who follow it, Sigma males operate outside the social hierarchy. They thrive in solitude. Their goals are deeply personal. Their confidence doesn't shout, it whispers with quiet certainty. And because they don't flaunt their power or demand attention, most people don't know what to make of them. That's intimidating. Psychologically, people tend to trust what they can easily categorize. But Sigma males defy categorization. They might have the ambition of an alpha, the introspection of a philosopher, and the social awareness of a master strategist. And yet, they don't fit into any box. That's not an accident. That's by design. And when it comes to relationships, this mystique only deepens. It's not that Sigma males are emotionally unavailable, on the contrary, they feel deeply. But they only reveal their inner world to those who genuinely earn their trust. That kind of access is rare. And let's face it, most people don't have the patience or depth to unlock someone that complex. So Sigma males often stay single, not because no one wants them, but because very few truly see them. Not for their looks. Not for their status. But for their mind, essence, and values. Ironically, it's their very independence, their otherness, that becomes magnetic. People are drawn to their aura, yet confused by their detachment. Society says, be louder. But the Sigma replies, watch closely. In the end, the Sigma male isn't trying to be different. He just is. He's not antisocial, he's selectively social. He's not unromantic, he's deeply romantic, with the right person. But until someone connects on his frequency, he walks alone, not out of loneliness, but out of choice. And in that choice lies his greatest strength. Number 5, they're masters of self-sufficiency. Here's the truth, Sigma males don't need anyone to complete them, because they've already completed themselves. While most people seek validation through romantic relationships or social status, Sigmas look inward. They've built careers from the ground up, crushed goals, and healed wounds alone. Their solitude didn't break them, it built them. Psychologically, this kind of independence is rare. Sigma males are often seen as introverted alphas, leaders who reject the spotlight. While traditional alphas dominate hierarchies, Sigmas transcend them. Not because they're rebels, but because they don't need a system to validate their worth. Their value comes from within, not from praise or popularity. While others lean on relationships to feel whole, Sigmas found their wholeness in solitude. They know who they are, what they want, and, most importantly, what they will not tolerate. Their boundaries are solid because they were built with intention. That's why they're highly selective, not because they're picky, but because they're whole. They're not searching for someone to complete the puzzle, they are the puzzle. To them, solitude isn't punishment. It's power. It's where they think, rebuild, and evolve. A 2021 study on emotional intelligence found that those with strong intrapersonal awareness tend to have healthier boundaries and higher satisfaction in life. Sigma males are living proof of this. They're not lonely, they're liberated. So when someone asks, "Why are you still single?" the answer is simple. It's by design. Sigma males don't enter relationships out of fear of being alone. They stay single when they know that compromising their values for connection would cost more than it's worth. And that kind of power, the power to choose solitude, is rare. That's why Sigma males often remain single. Not because they can't love, but because they've already found what most people spend their whole lives chasing: themselves. Number 6, they're not afraid to be alone. Let's face it, most people fear loneliness more than heartbreak. The silence, the stillness, the absence of another person, it can feel like a prison to the average individual. But for Sigma males? Solitude isn't a sentence, it's a sanctuary. They don't just tolerate being alone, they thrive in it. Psychologists have long studied personality archetypes like the Sigma male, men who are independent, introspective, and nonconformist. Unlike extroverts who gain energy from social interaction, Sigmas gain energy from isolation. Their minds are wired to process thoughts deeply, analyze patterns, and reflect on ideas, activities that require uninterrupted space and time. In fact, studies show that people comfortable with being alone often exhibit higher levels of creativity, focus, and problem-solving skills. And for Sigma males, that solitude gives them a mental edge. It allows them to strategize without distractions, set long-term goals, and align their actions with their own values, not someone else's expectations. While the world rushes to post relationship highlights on social media, Sigmas are unplugging, journaling, reading, building, learning. They don't chase attention, they focus on self-mastery. They're not interested in surface-level connections or empty conversations. They crave clarity, depth, and control over their path. And that's the secret: control. Solitude gives them command over their time, energy, and emotions. No drama. No confusion. Just freedom to think, grow, and create. Meanwhile, many people rush into relationships out of fear of being alone. They bounce from one partner to the next, trying to fill a void. But Sigmas? They sit in the void. They don't numb it. They transform it. Where others see emptiness, Sigmas see potential. In solitude, they forge identity. In silence, they sharpen vision. And in the absence of constant validation, they find inner strength. So while others may equate being alone with being unloved or unwanted, Sigmas understand the truth. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's a superpower. Number 7, they're too focused on their mission. Every Sigma has a purpose, a mission that burns deeper than fleeting romance or fitting into society's mold. For these independent thinkers, life isn't about blending in, it's about standing out by doing something meaningful. Whether it's building a business, mastering a craft, writing a book, creating a movement, or leaving a lasting impact, Sigma males are all in. Unlike most personality types, Sigmas don't chase relationships for validation. They chase alignment. They understand that building something worthwhile requires extreme focus, discipline, and sacrifice. And while romantic relationships can be beautiful, they also demand time, emotional energy, and compromise. For a Sigma, that emotional bandwidth is reserved for their purpose. Psychologists have found that people with high levels of self-determination, those who are driven by internal goals, tend to avoid relationships that threaten their mission. Sigma males fall right into this category. Their drive doesn't come from expectations, it comes from vision. Their hustle is their romance. The late nights. The silence. The strategy. The obsession with excellence. That's where their passion lives. They don't complain about being alone, because their solitude is filled with purpose. It's not that Sigmas are against relationships. Quite the opposite. They crave depth. But they want a partner who adds to their fire, not extinguishes it. Someone who sees that ambition isn't selfish, it's sacred. And here's the twist: when a Sigma male finds someone who understands this, who walks beside him, not in front, not behind, that connection becomes unstoppable. But until then, he walks alone. Not in bitterness, not in loneliness, but in clarity. So if you ever wonder why a Sigma seems distant or uninterested in typical romance, it's not because he's cold. It's because he's committed. Committed to purpose. Committed to legacy. Committed to impact. Because for a Sigma male, the real love story isn't written in candlelit dinners or perfect Instagram moments. It's written in the empire he leaves behind. Number 8, their standards are uncompromising. In a world that constantly tells you to settle down, Sigma males do something radical. They don't. They refuse to lower their standards just to fit into someone else's timeline. It's not arrogance. It's not perfectionism. It's clarity. Sigma males know who they are, and more importantly, who they are not. They've spent years sharpening their minds, mastering their craft, building their values brick by brick. So when it comes to love, they don't just want chemistry, they want alignment. They're not looking for a partner to complete them. They want someone who complements them, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This level of discernment can intimidate others. Most people are used to quick attractions, fast labels, and easy validation. But the Sigma doesn't move that way. He observes. He evaluates. He doesn't date for fun, he connects with purpose. That's why Sigma males often come off as picky or hard to please. But what they're really doing is filtering for substance. They're not searching for temporary highs, they're seeking something real. And if that means walking alone for a while, so be it. Because they'd rather protect their peace than compromise it for a relationship that lacks depth. They know the cost of letting the wrong person in, and they're not willing to pay it again. That's not fear. That's wisdom. Number 9, they've been hurt, and learned from it. Let's not sugarcoat it, Sigma males aren't robots. They've loved. They've been betrayed. They've opened up, and they've been broken. But here's the difference. They learn. They adapt. They don't repeat. A Sigma male doesn't fall into the same trap twice. Once burned, he doesn't wallow, he evolves. Unlike many who stay stuck in toxic cycles, the Sigma male dissects his pain, studies it, and upgrades his emotional armor. He doesn't become cold, he becomes calculated. He doesn't fear love, he respects its power. Psychologically speaking, this kind of man often shows high emotional intelligence. He understands attachment. He sees through codependency. He recognizes manipulation. And when things turn toxic, he's not afraid to cut ties and walk away. Studies show that emotionally intelligent individuals are better at identifying red flags and avoiding repeated relational mistakes. That's the Sigma's secret weapon. He's been through the illusion of false love, the kind that flatters your ego but drains your soul. He knows what it feels like to be used, for his strength, his silence, his mystery. And yes, it hurt. But he didn't let it define him. He let it refine him. His armor isn't built from spite, it's forged from insight. It's shaped by lessons, not grudges. So yes, he may walk alone, but he doesn't walk bitter. He walks wiser. This is why Sigma males often appear emotionally detached. Not because they lack emotion, but because they guard it, with precision. They love deeply, but wisely. And sometimes, that wisdom whispers a hard truth. Not everyone deserves access to your soul. So yes, he walks alone, not because he can't find love, but because he won't settle for a version of it that costs him his peace. So Sigmas, if the world ever makes you feel like you're missing out, remember this. You're not alone because you're unloved. You're alone because you refuse to settle. Your solitude is your strength. Your silence is your signature. Your standards, they're your superpower. Being single isn't your curse, it's your crown. Stay true to your path. Trust your instincts. And if love finds you along the way, let it be a bonus, not the destination. Number 10, they value freedom more than approval. While most people are conditioned to seek validation, whether from parents, peers, or society, Sigma males broke that cycle a long time ago. They don't live for applause. They live for freedom. Freedom to think independently. Freedom to say no without guilt. Freedom to walk away when something doesn't align with their values. This unshakable independence makes them incredibly hard to control, and almost impossible to manipulate. That alone makes them dangerous in the eyes of those who thrive on conformity. When others follow trends, Sigmas ask why. When others settle to be accepted, Sigmas detach to protect their truth. This mindset often puts them at odds with societal expectations, especially in relationships. While others chase picture-perfect romance or the ideal partner, Sigmas stay focused on authentic connection, not performance. They don't care how it looks, they care how it feels. They won't fake compatibility for comfort. They won't wear a mask to win someone over. They won't trade their identity for intimacy. Because for the Sigma male, freedom is love. If a relationship threatens his independence, it's already lost him. So yes, he may stay single for longer. He may walk a lonelier road. But that road is his, and he walks it with pride, not regret. Because when a Sigma male finally gives his heart, it's not for approval, it's for truth. Number 11, they see through social masks instantly. Sigma males possess an almost psychic level awareness when it comes to reading people. They don't just listen to what you say, they listen to how you say it. They notice the hesitation in your tone, the micro-expression behind your smile, and the tension in your body language. While most people take words at face value, Sigma males read the energy behind them. This is not a coincidence, this is the result of years spent in solitude, observing the world rather than constantly reacting to it. Because they don't need to dominate conversations or seek the spotlight, they pick up on everything others miss. And this hyper-awareness is both a gift and a curse in relationships. It means they can detect insincerity, manipulation, or insecurity almost instantly. It also means that they rarely allow people to get close, because so many operate behind emotional masks, and Sigmas aren't interested in peeling layers just to find an empty core. They want authenticity, not performance. Substance, not spectacle. And that's rare. Most people aren't ready to be fully seen, and that's exactly what a Sigma male does. He sees you, whether you want him to or not. That's why others may feel exposed or even unsettled around a Sigma male. It's not that he's cold, it's that he's clear. He doesn't entertain half-truths or emotional games. He values emotional honesty and self-awareness more than charm or status. So when someone approaches him with a polished smile but a fractured spirit, he knows. He doesn't attack. He doesn't argue. He simply steps back. Because he's not looking for someone to impress him, he's looking for someone who can meet him, soul to soul. And until that happens, he walks alone. Number 12, they've mastered delayed gratification. We live in a world addicted to instant gratification. Likes, swipes, fast food, quick hits of dopamine. Most people rush into relationships just to avoid a moment of discomfort. They chase feelings without understanding their roots. They want fireworks without building a foundation. But not the Sigma male. Sigma males have mastered the art of delayed gratification. They know that the best things in life, true love, purpose, self-mastery, take time, patience, and discipline. This isn't just a mindset. It's a way of life. While others are jumping into relationships to fill an emotional void, Sigmas are building themselves brick by brick. They are sharpening their skills, healing their wounds, and aligning their values before ever thinking about letting someone in. This makes them powerful, but also intimidating. Because people aren't used to men who are in control of their emotions. Men who don't fold at the first sign of attraction. Men who are willing to wait for something that matches their depth. Psychologically speaking, this trait is tied to self-regulation, a key pillar of emotional intelligence. According to studies in behavioral science, individuals with strong self-regulation are less likely to fall into toxic cycles and more likely to form secure, lasting bonds when they finally choose a partner. So when a Sigma male says he's not in a rush, it's not apathy, it's strategy. He knows his worth. He knows his mission. And he knows that anything worth having is worth waiting for. He doesn't chase sparks. He builds fire. Slow, steady, unshakable. Final thoughts, the power of choosing yourself. In a society obsessed with fitting in, settling down, and being validated by others, Sigma males choose something far more radical. They choose themselves. They walk paths few dare to take. Not because they're afraid of love, commitment, or connection, but because they refuse to trade their soul for it. To the outside world, this often looks like loneliness, arrogance, or emotional unavailability. But dig deeper, and you'll find something entirely different: intention. Sigma males are not passive drifters, they are deliberate creators of their reality. They don't avoid people out of fear, they avoid chaos that comes with the wrong people. They don't reject love, they reject anything that threatens their freedom, focus, or peace. They are not cold, they are measured. They are not emotionless, they are emotionally disciplined. They are not unavailable, they are unwilling to settle for a connection that costs them their identity. Everything they do, from guarding their solitude to protecting their time, from observing social dynamics to healing from past pain, is rooted in one thing: alignment. Sigma males are not chasing someone to complete them. They've already done the work. They've become whole. Now, if love enters their life, it must add to that wholeness, not fracture it. This is why they walk alone, not as punishment, but as preparation. They are not waiting, they are becoming. And when the right person comes along, someone who understands the power of depth, solitude, silence, and purpose, they won't meet a half-man begging for love, they'll meet a king, forged in fire, anchored in vision. So if you are a Sigma male, or feel that your path mirrors this journey, remember. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are just too rare to be easily understood. And that's your power. Your solitude is your strength. Your standards are your shield. And your silence? That's your signature. So walk your path. Build your vision. And if love finds you along the way, let it be a bonus, not the destination. Until then, stay grounded. Stay focused. And above all, stay Sigma.